Hey, Christian women entrepreneurs. It has a little lag. Don't know if it starts yet or if I have to wait for it to pop up, but okay, it popped up. I don't know. So hey, maybe I'm saying hi twice, but if you're catching this live, type hey in the comments or type hashtag replay. So I was on a coaching call this morning with one of my clients, and she was asking me, like, how do I sit down and create 30 days worth of content in, oh, hi, is it Taki? Or tacky? Let me know how to pronounce that if you could write out phonetically, but good to have you on the call, or on the live, whatever this is. So anyway, so I often talk about how like I'll sit down for an hour or so and schedule out 30 days of content. And so my client was like, "How on earth do you do that? That just seems like a lot of content to write." And so I just wanted to come on here and share with you what I shared with her and how I just kind of like never run out of content and can sit down and just bust out a bunch of content is that one, I allow myself to do it. So like I understand that in my brain there is so much content and I'm never going to run out of content, and I allow myself the space and the time to let my brain just produce content, to come up with ideas. And it does it when I let it and when I actually practice letting my brain come up with content ideas. And so another way that I am constantly just producing content and letting content flow to me is that I think back to just like things that happen. So if you're struggling, you're like, oh my goodness, I need to really come up with content and I'm feeling stuck right now and I have this brain fart of what even to write. Like think back on your whole life and everything you've experienced in your life and lessons you've learned and funny things that have happened. Like that's where you can draw content from. It doesn't have to be anything like right now in this moment, like, oh my goodness, what's something new that I just learned? Like, think back on all your years of life. That's all experience that you can draw from and stories you can draw from to market and sell whatever it is that you offer. Right. So when you're like, I don't have any content, that's not true. You have your whole lifetime filled with content. You just need to think about it and let your brain remind you of those stories and those lessons that you can share. Okay. And another thing, I used to worry about this, and I've heard some other um, clients come to me and they're like, well, I don't want to share too much. What's too much? What's not enough? And what if I give it all away? And that when you have that mindset, it's actually a scarcity mindset, right? That's not a mindset of abundance. You think like, if I give it all away, that's it and it's gone. But notice that you're not stagnant. We are never stagnant. We are always learning and growing and becoming hopefully better if you're learning and growing in the right ways. And so you're always up leveling. And because you're always up leveling, you're always going to have something new and better to share. And your content is gonna become better. So don't be afraid that you're gonna share too much. Because there's always going to be more. And one another thing that I tell my clients, and I learned this from my own coach, is the idea that like letting out content is like having to go poop, right? You're never going to run out of poop because you're always going to be consuming food and your body's going to process it and it's going to need to get it out, right? So that's kind of like content. Like you need to get it out because your body's going to be producing more of it and you don't want to be backed up. So a lot of you, if you're not sharing content and sharing your thoughts and things that you've learned in your life, like you're backed up with content and you need to just start sharing it. And the last thing I want to say, because I'm giving a lot in this, a lot of value in this, but and I don't want to overwhelm you. But if you're afraid that what you put out there isn't going to be good enough or it's going to be garbage, like you need to put it out there anyway. You just need to put out garbage copy and be okay with it feeling like, oh, that was total garbage. Because one, oftentimes the things that we feel like are the worst thing we've ever put out are the things we get the most feedback on, and people are like, "Oh my goodness, I love that. I needed to hear that. That's exactly what I needed today." And had you looked at that and said, "This is garbage," and deleted it instead of posting it, that person wouldn't have been able to engage with it and have that transformation and have the power that they needed in that moment of reading what you put out there. Okay. So know that even if you think it's garbage, a lot of times like other people are like, wow, that's exactly what I needed. So remember that when you are like writing something or feeling like this is trash. And also the second thing, when you think like, oh, this is garbage, I don't want to put out garbage copy, like in order to become better at writing copy, you need to start by putting out what you feel is garbage copy and just be okay with it and be willing to use that as a point of reference, a point of learning and a point of growth. Okay? So I hope this has been helpful, but just remember like you can't run out of content and to just like allow your brain to come up with things. um anyway, so that's my tip for today. And I have more when it comes to content because I'm just a content producing machine. Like start thinking that to yourself because that's what I think to myself, and it just keeps flowing, and I feel like I can talk for a whole hour right now about content, but I just want to give you a little nugget that you can just take with you right now and go and start producing content. Even if you feel like it's garbage, press post anyway. All right. So I love you guys and I hope you have a good rest of your day and that was valuable for you. All right. Bye.